I do lag because of the Canadian weather, so I might have to ask you what a couple of times, and probably you the same, but
All right, that's fine with me. I'm good with that.
all right, so looks like we're started here. One of my fellow YouTubers, metal YouTubers, has invited me to do an interview. Just what else do you got to do on a Thursday night? But yeah, definitely go check out Stefan Goldberg's channel once we're done here, and give his channel a shot. But now I leave it in the hands of Stefan. Go ahead, bud.
All right, let me just get this started. First, I want to ask, basically, like, tell me a little something about yourself first.
Like hobby or
Basically anything, actually. That's all.
I'm a father of 2 boys. Common law, married to my wife. I do YouTube and music for a living, basically. My other interests include writing, drawing, and now recently skateboarding again. But that's not as great as it used to be, so I'm working in the muscle memory again and getting everything back to a little bit better shape. But not really too much else to say besides that. Besides family man, YouTuber, musician.
Nice. Also, one other thing I want to ask, like, how did you come up with the name for your YouTube channel?
How did I come up with my YouTube channel?
Yeah, how did you come up with the name of it?
Well, I didn't really start this thing too super serious. Channel started basically off as just a place for me to dump whatever musical projects I had to do, and just kind of basically like a musical archive for myself to kind of look back on and see what riffs written or different projects and things like that. I think some of my earlier videos started to become more like proper YouTube oriented when I started doing like reviews and just like, I don't know if I did little skits back then or not. My original channel wasn't this. My original channel was a channel called JNC Reality TV, and I kind of started doing things on there with my wife when we first got together, and we just kind of filmed our, like, not day-to-day life, but we filmed us doing like weird, wacky things and just odd conversations and just things like that. But once we ended up having our first kid, it kind of simmered down, and we didn't really record too much because we were focusing on just being parents and just figuring out how to do a child because it was our first one. So, but once that started going well, and YouTube again, but it was under this channel, and then I started doing reviews and I guess updates, but it was very kind of minimal at the beginning. It was still very guitar oriented. I'd record the riffs and songs that I was creating for whatever project I had going on at the time, but it was slowly starting to build towards what it is now.
Oh, I see. Actually, I like that. Actually, at first I thought that you were just making like a whole, just full blown metal channel at first. Like you were just saying that's the topic I'm gonna do first.
Well, it basically was mostly metal content, because my first couple of reviews were the Dying Fetus and Black Sabbath reviews that I'm pretty sure still like vertical video. I hadn't really discovered like landscape video yet, and I guess pretty much every noob YouTuber probably does that at first, just does that like god awful vertical video with the black bars on the side. But what we have now today with like I said, like landscape like size videos and reviews that were a little better as I went along. I started doing like outlines for each review instead of just winging it and rambling. Updates. I'm gonna have to go back and actually see what my first collection update was, because I don't remember. It was at least 2.5 or 3 years ago since I started making this thing like a legit channel and not just fucking around.
Huh. No, but also one thing I wanted to ask other too is like when you were like first starting your channel at first, like what did you want to be like your first review? Like did you like, okay, this is the way I want to start my first video, or we're just like just randomly just like going to be like, no, I'm just gonna do this I'll do it on this, and that's basically the start.
Well, that's also a pretty good question, because I don't know what was going on in my head when I did my first review. I don't know if the first review was the Dying Fetus or the Black Sabbath one. It was probably the Black Sabbath one, but don't quote me. But if it was the Black Sabbath 13 album review, I think it was because like I was big on Black Sabbath growing up, and they broke up for a while in my point of view, because once Ozzy left the band, I couldn't give two shits about the other version of Sabbath. So when Sabbath started doing the reunion tour and started talking about doing another album, I was pretty stoked. And then when they finally did release 13, I had something to talk about. I'm like, my favorite band in the whole world just released a new album and got back together. So I'm going to give them on this on my channel. So that's what kind of maybe prompted that end of the channel for the reviews.
Yeah, actually, no, that's really cool. Actually, because like when you were saying about like that Ozzy actually after he left the band, actually, I kind of do the same thing with that, except I kind of do that except with Cannibal Corpse instead, because right after with Barnes, and then when Barnes left the band, all that, when I heard about it back, a long time ago, then I was like, you know what, I only like Chris Barnes better, so all the George stuff, I'm just gonna exclude that. I'm like, I'm gonna pretend like that doesn't exist, so I would just go only listen to the Barnes stuff and be like, yeah, you know what, Barnes is doing well. If you know what I mean, like just like nothing happened or something like that.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I'm more of a fan of Chris Barnes era Cannibal Corpse now. Back in the day, I was giving George Fisher a little bit more just freedom to be listened to, because I didn't have that kind of bias at the time. I was just kind of like, oh, this is all basically new, because I was just getting into death metal when I discovered Cannibal Corpse and and I didn't know about the feud. I didn't know why they broke up. All I knew was it all sounded brutal at the time. So like I did get a lot of the Cannibal Corpse albums post Chris Barnes, and then I realized like, oh, it's a different singer. And then I'm like, oh, they kind of kicked him out or he left or something. And then I started digging into why. And I'm like, huh. And then I seen interviews with George Fisher basically shitting all over Chris Barnes. So at that point, I'm like, fuck that guy. Why is he shitting all over the Chris Barnes? So then I started having that like Chris Barnes Cannibal Corpse only mentality, and then 6 Feet Under. I didn't care about the Fisher stuff anymore. I sold a lot of my Cannibal Corpse George Fisher era to Bob Shaw of Cuff. So cheers, Bob. Thanks for buying those off.
No, actually, I do the same exact thing too. Like, I only listen to Chris Barnes and Chris Barnes only, with both Cannibal Corpse and, of course, 6 Feet Under, because I don't know. I just can't take George's vocals. Like for me, I have a very strong opinion about about the whole thing, and I'm just like, you know what? I just can't stand that guy anymore. I can't listen to his vocals. It's like it's so boring and mundane, and I'm just like, you know, when I was listening to Barnes, I was like, this is so much better. Like, why am I even bothering with this other guy?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Like in the first 4 Cannibal Corpse albums, Chris Barnes' vocals were like at peak. He's unique. He kind of had his own like voice sound to him. Like you could tell that was Chris Barnes. And like when you got into the George Fisher era, once you heard like a song or two from George Fisher's Cannibal Corpse, you need to listen to the same damn thing in almost every song. It's like growl, 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 long drawn out scream, more growl, scream. It's a repetitive formula, and I just kind of picked up on that right away, and I'm like, I don't really care. The only George Fisher album that I kind of tolerate is Wretched Spawn, because some of the guitar riffs in that are so good, I can't ignore that album. So
Yeah,
that's it.
well, for me, I'll just say is like one last time actually. For me, like the way I basically found out what I like better is because like for me, I'm just a big fan of gutturals. I like guttural death metal a lot. I like those really like gurgly vocals like that. That's one other reason why I like guttural slam a lot, because I feel like that's some of the most heaviest like shit I've ever listened to.
Yeah.
Like one other thing I want to ask, like when it comes to like the views, did you ever think that your channel would ever become like this huge? Like where you're like, okay, I'm just gonna start a YouTube channel and see how big it is, and then later on you see like, oh wow, like this actually got a lot better and bigger than I expected.
Um, uh, in my opinion, my channel isn't even really that big. Like I haven't even hit 4,000 subscribers yet. There's way bigger related channels than mine out there, like Sean Count Blagareth, Infidel Amsterdam, Black Metal Werewolf, J-Hoff Films, and Kenyon Bickle's another one. There's a lot of bigger metal channels out there than mine. I feel lucky that I do have like 3,400 subscribers. Like that's pretty good considering. I just kind of did what I did, and whoever watched, and I think at a certain point I started realizing, yeah, I'm kind of enjoying this, and I wouldn't mind having a little bit more following. I wouldn't mind being able to interact with a little bit more other metalheads in the community, and I decided to start doing a little bit more full-time YouTube. Like that's kind of silly, but I started pumping out more videos on a more regular, consistent basis. I think the real turning point for my channel, as cool as you might think it is, or as lame as you might think it is, was probably the video about Black Metal Werewolf's deathcore issue, and how he at the time didn't understand why deathcore exists when heavier genres exist. And everyone around the metal community in the YouTube was tearing a strip off him in their videos, making fun of the guy, like shitting all over him because of that video in question. But I think out of all of them, I was the only one really just kind of having his back and saying, look, that he has an opinion. You might not agree with it, but that was his thoughts at the moment. And I was kind of just saying, who cares? Like, why are you guys like shitting yourselves so much because this dude has an opinion about it? And just kind of cut him a break, or just kind of like shut up about it already, because it's like, we're not TMZ. This isn't a big hot scoop. And it seemed like everyone and their mother was doing a video about it and shitting on him, my video was basically just saying, who cares? I mean, obviously I did a video on it too, but I feel mine was more from a give the guy a break stance, and this is ridiculous that everyone's commenting on it stance, than it was just to focus on the topic that everyone was focusing on. And everyone, I guess, who is fans of, not everyone, obviously, all right, have 30,000 subscribers, but a lot of people who saw the video who were fans of Black Metal Werewolf decided to subscribe because they're like, oh, hey, you know, this guy's mentioning him and has a video on him, but he's not shitting on him, so we're gonna, you know, support him, I guess. But yeah, that's definitely where my channel went from like maybe like 200 or 300 subscribers all the way up to like 1,000 or 1,500, and then it just kind of started snowballing from there.
Oh, that's actually great. Actually, no, when I first discovered you, like I knew that I was gonna really enjoy your content because I always enjoy like people who always have something interesting to like talk about, even when it comes to like metal. Because basically, if it wasn't for you, I would have never known about a lot of different kinds of albums that you've been showing on your channel. Like I've been listening to that that DSBM album from Commit Suicide that you were reviewing on actually, and I gotta say it's some of the best stuff
Nice.
DSBM I've ever listened to so far. I'm like, this is really good. I'm glad he actually was talking about this. This is something I need to listen to.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad you decided to give my buddy Lord Dagor's bands a shot, because I know he puts a lot of effort into it, and he puts a lot of his own like heart and soul into that kind of music. And some of the topics that he's like singing about, and some of the titles you can tell really have to do with personal things that he's dealing with and some people that he has in his life. So it's nice that he's getting the recognition he deserves for the effort that he's put forth. So
Oh yeah, of course.
thanks for checking that
Oh,
out.
you're very welcome. Like, but of course, like I gotta say, like I was listening to the album It Hurts to Smile like just yesterday on his Bandcamp, and I gotta say, like a lot of the stuff on that's like it's really powerful too. Like I can actually like a lot of the way the song, like the production sound was like very good, and also like the way it felt, like felt very depressing. So it gives me like that. It really like takes away a lot of my energy basically because I'm like, this is really great, but so depressing at the same time, and that's why I really enjoyed it as well.
Well, I did warn people to maybe listen to that when you're in a better mood, because if you're already down on the dumps and then you go and listen to some DSBM like that, you're going to be not in the greatest of moods after. But some people like to feed their emotions when they're like sad or depressed or just not in the greatest of moods. They like zero in on music that just feeds that kind of thing too. And so it depends on who you are, I guess. So I mean, if you're a person that wants to, you know, sit in your feels for a bit, then go ahead and listen to it. But if you're not a person that wants to be depressed, I would say be in a better mood to listen to music like that. But yeah, it's really good stuff.
Oh, of course, like I actually plan to buy a physical copy of that album because I really enjoyed it. So and then very soon, I'm like, and maybe eventually, like probably I would say like maybe like next week or the week after, I'll start buying it on physical because I really, really want to support the guy, and I really want to like do my own review on it. And I feel like what, I really need to. I want to get this physically. Like I want to support this guy because what he's doing with this band is really good.
Sick, man. That's awesome. Always good to support Canadian black metal.
Also, like one other thing I wanted to ask, like out of all the videos you recorded, which one would you say like that you would be like, okay, like if you ever want to do something like this, would you want to go back to and be like, maybe I should re-record this again because the way it first came out maybe wasn't so good, and you just want to be like, okay, maybe now that I have more information, now I can actually do a better version of that old video?
I honestly haven't thought about it. I try not to go back and watch too many of my old videos because I'm not really a fan of my own voice, to be honest, and sitting and watching myself talk about things is kind of cringy to me. Um, but for, you know, I do it for editing purposes. Like, I'll make a video and then I'll watch it back, and then I'll be like, okay, this doesn't suck too bad, and then I'll upload it. Um, but yeah, as for going back into like, I don't know, 2016's videos or 2015's videos, I don't know if I would do that or whatever, but I don't know if I would really change any videos or redo them. The only time I do that is when I notice there's like really glaring errors, or if I feel like there wasn't enough energy behind it. But it would be like, hey, it wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to go back and check out 2 or 3 years videos ago and redo those, because I don't know, I'm always kind of moving forward. And like I said, I don't really watch my older videos. I'm sure if I went watched a bunch of videos, I'll be like, oh God, I'd be too tempted to press the delete button, let alone do re-recordings of it. So I'd probably at most maybe just archive some stuff that I found really bad or really cringy. There are a couple videos on this channel that straight up deleted because either they're too irrelevant, or they were uploaded when I wasn't in a proper frame of mind. I'm sure 250 people remember seeing that one video of mine where I was really depressed, and I was basically saying that I was having a really shit day. I was really emotional about it, and I think apologizing that I wasn't going to be able to get around to doing a review of Cav, their Shattering Medicine album. But then somebody, one of my trolls or haters, were clever enough to figure out how to copy a video on your channel and then uploaded it on their channel to mock me and kind of point a finger and say, "Ha, look how stupid he is," and whatever. So I had to, well, I deleted my video of that because it's not something that I want out there, and it's not something that like really represents what I want on this channel. So I deleted my video, and then I found that video later on. I'm like, well, that's bullshit. So I reported it to YouTube, and they took it down because it's my intellectual property, right? Like he can't copy my video and then post it on his channel and claim it's his, right? So that got taken down. But there's rare occasions where I will like delete a video or just archive it. But for the most part, I do try to review what I'm about to upload before I upload it. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like, man, that went really well. I'm not going to bother reviewing that, and I just upload it right away. Recently, I've been trying to, when I have time, do some like somewhat neat edits, like some collection updates. I'll put a little clip from one of the bands I'm talking about in there, and like a funny outro clip of me doing something silly, or just like some cut content that I didn't want in the video that I thought was kind of maybe humorous. I'll put it as like a blooper at the end, and then another clip. I kind of did that here and there this year. But I don't know. There's a video or two of my some people just really do not like because they can't handle opinions on the internet.
I know exactly how.
And I've said, yeah. So I've said a couple of things in one or two of them that sometimes are taken out of context and maybe because I'm trying to make a point,
Yeah.
and people will just latch onto that and say, oh, like the one is that people like to go, oh, did you really compare Iron Maiden to Twisted Sister? Obviously, they're two different genres of metal.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was trying to make a point that I enjoyed what Twisted Sister did more than what Iron Maiden did, which I'm gonna have to rewatch that video again. But like, I was trying to make a point there. I wasn't saying that they're the same, and I wasn't saying that they were like in the same genre. I was just trying to make a point, and people like to make that into like a thing where it's like, oh, he's always giving inaccurate information, or oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about in metal because he confused this and that. Another one was the calling Pantera death metal. I don't obviously think Pantera is death metal. They're just like post thrash, or what people like to call groove metal. But in the video, I made a slip of the tongue, and apparently people never make those. People never make slips of the tongue, so they like to call me out on that part. But even those videos, to get around to my point here, but even those videos, I'm not going to take down. I'm not going to archive. If people want to go back and like look at those videos, analyze everything I've said, and then come talk shit about it, then whatever. That's all part of being a YouTuber. You take the bad, and
Yeah, exactly. Like,
so
yeah, exactly. Like, but for me, like, when it comes to like hearing other people's opinions, like, I know they're not gonna have the same exact feelings for certain bands as I do, but I respect it because you know why? I just respect it. I'm like, that's their opinion, and that's the way it's gonna be. There's nothing I can change about that person. I'm just gonna accept it.
yeah.
Because I actually remember watching that
Well, that's another thing.
that video of yours actually that you were just talking about, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna accept it. Like, I can't. Like, I'm not. Why would I even bother arguing? Like, it's not gonna do anything, and I respect this guy's opinion because that's the kind of person who I am.
Yeah, well, that's the thing people don't understand, right? Like, opinions are not facts,
Yeah,
and people, for whatever reason, they like to get offended by opinions that don't match theirs. And it's like, why? Why are you getting offended by someone's opinions? Like, you have your own opinions, you have your own views. Do you not have a strong enough character to be able to stand behind those opinions, that you have to defend your opinions by attacking someone else for having their opinions? Like, if you're a strong-minded person, it shouldn't matter if someone doesn't like something you like, because you like it, you enjoy it. So why does other person affect you? How is that like a personal attack that you seem to think it is? And these people, not everyone,
yeah,
because everyone's an asshole, but these assholes who can't just realize an opinion is just an opinion, personal attack, they go and they'll come to your comment section and start beef. They'll accuse you of being a poser. They'll drop like homophobic slurs. They'll just attack you because they feel that you're attacking them with your opinion, even though you know what I mean. Like, it's like they can't discern that you don't have to like or dislike the same things as they do, and they see it as a reason to go on attack. They feel like, oh, they got to defend their opinion, and you have to be wrong if what you say doesn't match up to their beliefs.
I know how that feels. Like, trust me, like, I'm not going to get into it, but I've had a lot of my problems with certain people, and let's just say, like, when it comes to them or fighting against me, I basically just don't say anything because I'm like, this person isn't worth my time. This person isn't worth anything. So why am I going to fight back with this person? Like, I'm just basically giving them what they want, and I just don't do anything. I just delete it. I just move on.
Yeah, that's basically the best thing to do when it comes to trolls and haters in your comment section. I mean, it's either, it's basically one of those situations where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Like you can have one side of an opinion and you'll have a bunch of people who agree with you, or you can have the exact opposite opinion and you'll have a bunch of people that will agree with you. But on the same side, you'll also have people that'll disagree on this side and people that'll disagree on this side. So no matter what stance you take, you're going to have people that'll agree and you'll have people that'll disagree. So basically you just gotta, if you're gonna, respond to your comment section, you might even just disable your comments altogether because you don't care what other people have to say on it. You're gonna say what you want to say. You're gonna put forth your opinion, and if they can't handle that, that's on them, right? Some people just completely disable the comment section. I like to keep mine open because I like to generate discussion. I read every one of my comments. People say you shouldn't read your comments, but I read every one of my comments. I don't necessarily respond to every one of them. Like a negative comment or something that's just obviously fishing for not controversy, but like if it's obvious that they're just fishing for conflict, I most likely won't respond. Sometimes I do because I'm human and I can't. I just gotta be like, yeah, well, fuck you too, buddy. But most of the time I try not to do that. I try to just ignore the negative comments and just focus on people who are trying to generate a proper discussion and share a proper opinion. And like, I'll thumb up their comment, yeah, cool, thanks for watching, or oh yeah, I totally agree with your opinion that you shared here based on the content in this video. Or some people will share bands with me and be like, hey, I noticed you talked about this and this band in your video, here, check out this link or check out this band. And I'll respond to that kind of stuff because I like to generate more positivity and more discussion than I do like to feed the trolls and to combat people who are trying to conflict with me. So
yeah, exactly. Like I know exactly what you're trying to tell and everything because like, but because I don't know. I just try to wrap my head around with certain things. I'm just like, why are people just disagreeing? Like, this is the last time I'm gonna say, but like this, I don't know why people are complaining about this. Like if everyone just accepts everyone's opinion, like, just be like, hey, I'm just gonna sit back and just be like, okay, whatever, that's fine. This guy is, I'm gonna respect that. Like everything, then people wouldn't have to argue. Like I just wish that kind of stuff just didn't happen.
yeah, it's a shame that the world has turned into a me against everyone attitude. It's like everyone seems just wanna, I don't know. It seems like everyone wants to fight about something. It's like if they're not outraged, they've got nothing to do. That they better find something to be outraged about. That's why I tell my other members of the Rebellion family channels that, hey, controversy. If you think you're going to be talking about something controversial, do it, because people love to be offended. People love to be outraged about something. And you have the right to your opinion. That's your channel, so do it up. Specifically, Lord Husk from Lord Husk's Evil Empire. He's always like, I don't know if I should talk about this, man. I don't know if I want to deal with idiots in my comment section. So tell him, look, dude, are you interested in what you're talking about? Do you have passion for this subject? And then he's like, well, yeah. Then I'm like, do it. Then talk about it. If it's, you got to make content that makes you happy. You're doing this channel thing for you. This is your hobby. Don't let naysayers and negative steal your happiness. Don't let them steal your hobby. Don't let them detour you from doing something you love just because you think it might be controversial, just because you think it might be an unpopular opinion. You gotta, yeah, you gotta just be like, nope, this is how I feel. I feel it's interesting to talk about, and I'm going to upload it regardless. So
yeah, exactly. like to be honest with you, sometimes when I'm like wearing this like Cannibal Corpse t-shirt, sometimes I'm just hoping maybe someone out there will be like, okay, is anyone looking at this? Is someone going to say something about it to me? Because I kind of want to like sometimes see a person's reaction about it.
Did I lose you?
Oh, sorry, something happened?
You kind of went silent and froze for a second, so probably my connection, so I apologize.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. What I was saying is like sometimes I just hope that like when I'm wearing my Cannibal Corpse t-shirts or something a little more over the top, like I want to sometimes see if somebody would get a reaction over it actually, just to see what they would do. Just to be like, oh, let's see if they would like recognize this shirt, or oh, maybe someone who doesn't know about anything about metal would be like, oh my god, that shirt's so appalling or something. I just want to see that happen.
Actually, it's funny you say that. There's the Black Craft
Oh, I actually.
company?
Oh yeah, I have a story to tell you about that too. Actually, I have that one shirt. Actually, yeah, I actually definitely know about the Black Craft actually, because there was actually.
Right.
Wait, I'll tell you. Actually, do you want to start with yours, or should I start with mine first? It's up to you.
Oh, I just was gonna say that Black Craft has this shirt that says "Satanic Motherfucker" on it, and I'm not Satanist. I'm atheist, so I don't believe in a god or a devil, and I don't really. I haven't read the LaVeyan Satanism book, so it's not my thing. But having a shirt that says "Satanic Motherfucker" on it and wearing that in public around all the normies kind of tickles me in a really funny way. It's just like, I know there's going to be people seeing that shirt and being like, that son of a bitch, how dare he wear that in public? So it's like, oh, I still want to do it, not because I'm a Satanist or I believe in that kind of stuff, but just because I know it's going to irk people a little, and my inner rebel, as cheesy as that sounds, kind of makes me want to buy that shirt.
I can definitely understand why. And well, actually, I'll tell you this. Actually, I have like this Black Craft T-shirt that actually has like the pentagram, but has like pizza slices on it. Actually, that one. And on it says like wear black and eat pizza. So I was coming back from like one semester of college. Actually, it was like the last day of the entire semester, and I was ready to get on the bus. And then some guy comes up to me and says, oh, "Is that the pentagram and all that?" Like he's speaking like in an accent, and I was like,
Yeah.
First, I was like trying to be like, "Oh no, just pizza and all that," and then he comes to me saying, "Oh, don't worry, God loves you." And I was like, "Oh my god, like, Jesus Christ!"
It's pretty funny.
I was like, "Oh my god," that was like the first time I experienced that. And I was like, "Oh my god," it's like I'm just surprised that like someone would just come up and start saying that to me.
Yeah, I've had a couple of Christian or Catholic people try to approach me with their beliefs about that, and I kind of just have to be like, hold it there, bud. I don't believe any of that. You're going to be wasting all of your breath. Like, I had, I think a fan of the channel actually message my BlackMetalRebellion page. They're into like, I think they're actually into black metal of some sort. And then they stopped messaging me for a few months. And then they messaged me again and they're like, hey, can I talk to you about the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ or something like that? And I'm like, I'd prefer you didn't. And I'm like, is this a joke? Because two or 3 months ago, you were sending me black metal links to your solo project. And then they're like, oh no, I believe in this now. I'm like, well, I don't, sorry. And they kept pushing it and talking about this. And I basically just had to like mute them from my messages. I'm like, I'm not interested in that. I don't believe in that. There's no way in hell that I'm going to be convinced otherwise. So after I tell you to stop messaging me about that topic and you keep going on, I'm just like, nope, mute. Sorry, bud. So to that guy, sorry I had to mute you on my page, but I it, so I don't know what to say, man.
Yeah, stuff just happens. You know, make people sometimes are just like that. But hey, you know, basically in the end, what can he do? All he can just do is just block him, and that's it.
I didn't want to, but
Yeah, of course. What can you do after all that? Also, let me think what else I was going. Speaking of other stuff, like I wanted to say like out of every out of any video like you create like on a certain genre, I would say like let me give you an example like of a slam. Like what would you say is like the best album like that you really enjoyed the most out of like in that collection video, being like, okay, this is the most one I like the best out of the ones I was talking about in that video.
what the question is, what is my favorite slam collection video?
Yeah, like which one would you say was the best? That like, oh, these are the best albums that I recorded. I not recorded. I mean, like best albums I talked about.
Uh, well, probably my most recent like top 30 slam and brutal death metal albums list. I did it in 3 parts, so in each video there's 10 different slam and brutal death metal bands, and the reason why those would be my favorites because they'd be the most up to date and comprehensive. Because I've done top 10, top 20 in the past, but I hadn't had many albums that I have now, so that would like that most recent top 30 list and 3 videos really be my favorite, as they would be up to date and accurate.
Huh. No, I see. Like also like one other thing like I want to ask what is your like which slam band do you like the best actually? Like which one is like your most like popular favorite band that you like of the slam genre?
Um, well, it's not 100% slam; it's slam core. But my favorite that's basically in that genre is Acranius, and it's because they have like the best mix of slam and breakdown riffs there is. It's be you bob your head to it, and like if you're walking by yourself, you just feel very empowered, and you're like, no motherfucker, but fuck with listening to this because it just makes you feel so good. So yeah, like Acranius, and more specifically, when Mutation Homicide first album, it's like the best fucking thing in that genre ever. But for just slam, or just pure unadulterated slams, I want to say Disfigurement of Flesh, but I feel like they have a little bit of like brutal death metal in there too. So, oh man, to just focus in on just the slam band, maybe no, Guttural Slug doesn't count, or do they? I don't know. The Megalodon album is amazing. Cephalotripsy is really good, but I find it's very repetitive. But it has like slam after slam after slam in it. So Cephalotripsy's album they did was probably like one of the best ones, but it's like I said, it's more repetitive. I like something that has a little more like more identifiable differences between songs. So I'm gonna say maybe Disfigurement of Flesh for like pure brutal death metal slam, and then for like my favorite out of the whole like wide genre of slam and slamcore and all that would be Acranius. Like it just has so much groove and brutality to it.
Oh, nice. Because actually, I am a really big fan of. I'm actually really a huge fan of Disfigurement of Flesh. Actually, as well, I really enjoy like what they are, and I also like you definitely probably heard of this band, but I really love the second album that this band created, Cerebral Incubation.
Cerebral Incubation, yes, nice. I actually have their something excrement album right there. There we go. That one. That was really good.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Actually, I'm gonna change my answer. Vulvectomy.
Oh yeah, I like those guys.
Vulvectomy is my favorite pure slam band.
Oh, I love those guys too. Very good as well. And the funny thing is, actually, when I went to Useless Christ Fest one year in 2016, actually, I met the guitarist and vocalist for Slave Incubation.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah, it was actually a really good experience. The guy was very nice, and he even offered to autograph one of my CDs I bought from him. So I thought that was a really special moment as well for me because I really had a lot to say to him because I thought his vocals were amazing, and it was just so much that I really just wanted to say about to him.
Nice.
Also, like, what another thing I want to ask, like, also, like, out of a lot of the black metal, like, I'm like, this is just something I just want to ask too. Like, what are also some like really good raw black metal bands that you like?
Actually, there's a couple that pop off to my head right away. There's Catharsis. Catharsis is really good. Their first album, 666, is really, really good raw black metal. There is Mutilated. Mutilated is really good. They're part of La Legion Noire from Europe. There's another one that's really good too. That's sort of like, oh, Black Altar. Black Altar is really good. I have their self-titled first album as well. Definitely need to get more of them. I think they have an EP called Death Fanaticism that is high up on my to-get list. So yeah, Mutilation, Catharsis, and Black Altar for sure. There's lots of like really great raw black metal. There's Human Bodies from the States. They're kind of like almost they're not quite. You really have to be pressed to hear it, but they've got some like grind and noise elements to it a bit, but just not like very apparent. But they're really good too.
Oh, nice, actually, because for me myself, I'm trying to look for more like really good raw black metal on the side of everything else because I just need more things to listen to as well. Sometimes I just can't find it.
No worries, man. Maybe in the future I will do top 10 best raw black metal list for you guys.
I would love to see a video like that because, like I said, I'm always looking for a lot of new black metal or any metal basically to listen to because I sometimes get bored after a while. Like I'm listening to like sometimes the same thing, and I'm just like, you know what? I need to sit back and listen to something I've never heard before and actually just get into it. Like, cause I sometimes get like a little bored after a while. Sometimes listening to the same ones over and over. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely enjoy them, of course. Why wouldn't I? But I just need sometimes something a little bit new to listen to.
Fair enough. Well, I know you're interviewing me, but how do you go about finding new bands?
Basically, like for me, actually, I would say I basically go around on YouTube watching other YouTubers, or I just sometimes just look anywhere. Like sometimes even like the weird thing is sometimes I just search like certain black metal, like I just type in raw black metal, or sometimes it will come up on the search sections, or even just on Google Images or something like that. And it usually has like a link to it, and I usually click it and I'm like, okay, let's see what this is about. And I usually find it on like YouTube because sometimes you don't have it there. So I find it in and I listen to it. And I'm like, oh, I see why I really enjoy this. And basically, that's basically a lot of times how I figure out about a lot of new bands I enjoy from other people or just finding it for myself.
Cool, man. Yeah, that's basically how I discover new bands, either by watching fellow like YouTubers who are into metal and stuff like that, or just my YouTube suggestions list that pops up. You're like, oh, you listen to this, you might be interested in this. I'm like, yeah, why the fuck not? So I'll click it and check it out. I also find new bands in the most weird, obscure way too. Like I'll be looking for new patches for one of my vests, and I'll just have a complete brain fucking fart that day, and I'm like, you know what? I can't think right now. Black metal patches, and I'll type it into like eBay or Metal Devastation, and I'll just scroll through all the black metal patches they have, and sometimes I'll be like, what the fuck does that logo say? So then I'll look, oh, it's Ascase or whatever the fuck, or Ascaria, and I'm like, what the hell is Ascaria? So I'll go look it up, because it's basically one of those tree branch logos that you can't make it out, and then I'll listen to them and I'm like, man, that's actually really good. So then I'll like add that to my watch list, because I'm like, man, that was kind of cool. And like, so yeah, I'll discover bands by looking for different patches sometimes, and just not knowing what that logo is, and then looking in the description and seeing what the band name is. I'm like, huh, well, I like the logo and I need more patches. Let's go take a listen to that band and see if I like it. And then if I like it, I'll just add it to my like watch list on eBay or something.
Oh, of course. Also, one other thing I wanted to say, like, I'm just gonna bring my laptop upstairs because it's a little bit dying off down here, so I'm just gonna move this a little.
No worries.
Yeah. Basically, if you see like, when I'm walking, you'll probably see like my drum kit and stuff from my guitars, because I have them behind me.
Good. Just a heads up, I'm probably gonna have to let you go at 11:30, because I'm gonna need to help the wife, the kids. They're still up, because if I don't put them down, they don't get put down, because kids, for whatever reason, do not like listening to their mothers. They need like the dad to come in and tell them what's what.
All right, sure, that's perfectly fine with me. Also, one other thing else. I wanted to say, like, when it comes to like, where do you get your patches again? Actually, because I wanted to basically, I'm also trying to look for patches.
Sorry, I got cut out there.
Oh, sorry. I was saying, like, I was asking just where do you get your patches from again? I kind of want to know what website it was.
Oh, well, besides eBay, there's also Etsy. But I usually went to Etsy more for my punk patches or hardcore patches and stuff. But they sell stuff there, so check Etsy. Normally some really good prices. There's a lot of DIY stuff there, so it's people who like print their own like screen printed patches, and they'll sell them to you for like $1, $2 plus like $3 shipping. Like, it's really good stuff. Like I can get like 10 punk patches for like $22 shipped. It's like amazing. But my metal patches I normally get from eBay or Metal Devastation. I very rarely ever got them from like local shops. Like there's a place that replaced my local HMV that's called Now and Then Music. They've got, I think, about 10 patches that they have like up on a cork board that are in there. You can like, all right, I want maybe that or that, but it's very basic stuff. Like it's like AFI, Five Finger Death Punch, Carcass, like In This Moment, and maybe like some other stuff. I don't know, but just really mainstream stuff. So it's really hard to find local patches. So yeah, I do basically have to find mine either, like I said, eBay, Etsy, or metadevastation.com. So.
Oh, nice. Actually, thanks for telling me. I'll definitely check those out when I'm trying to look for something.
No problem.
Also, I just noted this actually as well. Was there ever like a video that you wanted to ever record but you never got to it yet? Like you're like, oh, I want to start doing this, but like you never got to doing that video yet?
Yeah, there's a few videos that I need to get around to doing, but I just keep getting busy, or I'll have like an unboxing that I gotta do, because I'm so excited about this package that just came in from someone who sent me something out of the kindness of their heart, and it finally arrived, and I want to make sure that I do a video on that and give them the thanks and praise that they deserve for sending my stupid ass free shit. So yeah, I've got a couple of battle jack videos that I need to do. I've got some horror movies to watch or avoid episodes to do, at least 2 more to do now. because they just kind of act and just, I don't know, sitting around with my thumb up my ass or something. No, not really, but I do get busy with just random errands to do. You'd think with someone that doesn't have a 9-to-5 job, you'd think all the time in the world. Somehow I get very busy. So I'm not just sitting around doing nothing. But yeah, there's also like I want to do a thrash metal shirt collection soon, and I've got like a stack of fucking like horror shirts that I've been getting from a couple of places locally that are just sitting there waiting to be shown off because I haven't put them away yet, because I'm like, oh, I should probably show these off. So I just kind of been putting them on a stack of like you know, those giant like Rubbermaid containers that you use for merch bins sometimes. I just got them like sitting up there going, yep, I'm going to do a video of those soon. They don't need to be put away. But you know, I've got a few things that need to be done because it's kind of starting to take up space. But
oh yeah, I'm
yeah.
looking forward to those whenever you get to the time of doing it.
Thanks, man.
Oh, you're welcome. Also, one other thing. This is actually something I wanted to say before. Like, I wanted to like I was gonna say that I'll be I'm planning to go on to like vacation to Norway, and I actually am gonna be going to there actually very soon, like 1 month very soon after I graduate, and I'm gonna go to that.
Nice.
Oh, thank you. And I'm gonna go to that, like, you know, the black metal store that they have there, of course, the head of the shop.
Helvet, nice, yeah.
And I wanted to ask, is there anything you want me to bring you back there? I'll buy you anything you want, man. Like anything, any CD, vinyl, anything. I'll try to get it for you.
That is very kind of you. I'd almost feel bad asking for it, but if it's from Norway and the Helvet shop, I would have to have like one of the Black Circles, like memorabilia of some sort. Like maybe like a Dark Throne shirt or a bird in their shop, or I don't know, because I don't actually have a Burzum or Dark Throne shirt right now. As for like CDs or like vinyl or anything, I've kind of stopped collecting vinyl because I've found that I haven't had time to play it, and the player I have is an Ion. It's basically one of those like suitcase record players, and fucking everyone I hear talking about record players say don't use the suitcase version of the record players. Go buy yourself a Audio Technica or like a $1,000 this or that vinyl player. So I'm kind of like, maybe I should just wait until I get like a better record player to actually start collecting vinyl again. So I've just kind of put vinyl on hold for now. I've only got one like milk carton crate kind of semi-full, and I've just stopped because I'm like, no, unless I have something good to play them on, I probably shouldn't play them on it, especially if I ever want to sell some, because if anyone knows they've been played on a suitcase player, they're going to be like, nope, no thanks, because everyone seems to think the suitcase record players are going to fuck your vinyl. So I've just kind of stuck to CDs for now. So I don't know. Basically, anything from like Hate Them All and up, like new. I don't have any like of Dark Thrones. Like I have Hate Them All and below. So like any of the new stuff, I would be stoked to have. So like Arctic Thunder, The Cult Is Alive, Rally the Wagons or whatever it is, Circle the Wagons, the Fuck Off and Die album I don't have. But yeah, so any of the newer Dark Throne I don't have. I've got everything I want by Burzum. I'm never gonna buy his like prison albums because I'm not really into ambient music.
I just have black metal stuff.
yeah, that's all it's really worth getting.
Yeah.
To me. I mean, but yeah. But yeah, man, if you really want to, and you have the extra, not going to put you out,
No, I'll do it.
maybe a Burzum or Dark Throne shirt if they have any there.
Yeah.
If they don't have shirts, any album by Dark Throne like after Hate Them, I don't have. So, like I said, if you want to, and if it's not putting you out,
Yeah, it's
I
good.
feel bad for even giving you suggestions, but
It's good. No, I'll just do it anyway. I'll just be I think I'll be saving some money for you for that. I'll pack some away, and each time I'll just put some away just to get you something nice. I feel like I want to do that for you. Because it's just something I feel like I want to do. Just to do it, just to be nice.
all right, well, I appreciate that, man. That's very generous of you and too kind.
Oh, you're very welcome. Also, I was thinking, I remember seeing videos about that, but would you maybe I don't know if you would want, but they have sometimes first pressings of the first Burzum or Mayhem records if you're interested. Not like a vinyl, but I mean like a CD.
I'm not really a first press whore. I don't really if it's like first press or second press or even like 10th press. So like I'm collector. Don't get me wrong. I'm a collector scum for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not to the point where it's like I gotta have first press everything. If I end one magically,
Yeah.
then cool. But I don't like go out and specifically search just for first presses.
All right.
The only thing that I would advocate against is like bootlegs or stuff that the band isn't getting money for. So like if there's like an Indonesian press of some sort of rare EP that's done by, one of those bands, then I'm probably not going to get it, even though it's like, oh, I would like to have a physical copy of this, but well, the band didn't press it, so I'm not going to buy it. Like there's only one that I have, I think, that's like that, and it's that Mayhem and Morbid split, or is it Mayhem?
There's also a Dark Throne one too, Morbid and Dark, Mayhem and Dark Throne, and then there's also one with Morbid.
Yeah, that's it. It's the Mayhem and Dark Throne one. Fuck. Now you got me wanting to pull it out.
You don't have to if you don't want it. It's fine.
Yeah, there it is. Holy shit. Trying not to knock over my shit. There we go. This one.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
Just on vinyl, I got the one with Morbid and Mayhem on from Hell's Headbangers not long ago.
Nice.
Because I wanted to actually I was like, I want to see what this is about. So I just, randomly just bought it.
Yeah.
All right. This will be the last thing I want to ask, because I've definitely seen a lot of people do this, but how is your experience with the Metalhead box actually? How do you like it?
The Metalhead box is probably one things that I could get in the mail on a monthly basis because it's Canadian, supporting Canadian local businesses. So that's one thing. It always has some sort of band that I've never heard of before, and I know they're going to put quality stuff in the box. It's not like they're going to send me something that's absolute trash or something that they haven't filtered yet. Like all the stuff they get, they listen to first to make sure it's worthy of being sent to us as customers. So I know that if it's got the Metalhead Box seal of approval on it, that I'm probably going to be okay with it. And even if I'm not a big fan of whatever they send me, I like knowing that I can trade with someone in the group because they've made that available on Facebook. They have their Metalhead Box trade group where members of the Metalhead Box clientele can be like, hey, I got Marduk's Until the, or what am I trying to say here? Those of the Unlight, but I already have a copy. Would you like to trade it for, Satiricon's Nemesis, Divina, and someone be like, yeah, sure, I don't need this copy. Here you go. And then it creates a nice kind of community as well. So it kind of gets people talking. It kind of gets people more interactive with each other in a positive way. So it's got that going for it. Plus the group on Facebook. So that's kind of cool. And they've got a bunch of different options too. It's not just one thing you have to choose from. You can either just have a big, wide kind of spectrum of all metal, or you can get thrash or extreme, etc. Like they got lots of options. And for me, this month I didn't have enough money to get like the Metalhead box, the big one, right? So I'm like, oh, I only have this amount of money, but I still want a box and I still want to support. So hey, I can afford the tape box. So let's get the tape box. So that'll be coming probably the last week of this month or the first week of April, sometime then, and I'll do an unboxing for it. And I don't think I'll have enough money to pick that one again. So I'll probably end up emailing them and be like, hey, I'll have enough money for the mini Metalhead box. Can you switch my order to that? And they'll be like, sure, and my order will be switched. And that's not a good thing. Their customer service, so that's 4 things right there. Their customer service is impeccable. They're not a corporate brand that takes weeks to respond. They care about their customers. They care about getting your order right. If there's something wrong, they're right there, willing to fix it within 24 to 48 hours, and that's pretty good, considering how many clients they probably have, and considering how much other stuff they got going on in the day. Like, not everyone can be like face down on a phone like every hour of every day, because they've got other adult stuff they have to do. So yeah, there's at least 4 reasons why I love the Metalhead box.
Of course, I absolutely love the Metalhead box as well for me, because I've been getting so much positive feedback from them, and so much, like, I've been giving them my full blown support, because I feel like everything they've been doing is like absolutely amazing. Like they work so hard on doing what they do all the time that I want to give them my full 100% support, basically, because I feel like I said, that they work hard every time to make each individual box as special and great as they can. And I'm very glad that they basically started to do this, because I think this is one of the best things I think I've ever seen actually come, like basically being like something like that out there. So makes me feel happy about that as well, actually, that something like this is actually happening.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's about time that us metalheads got some sort of box like this, because the nerds got a box. They got Nerd Block. The horror fans got like 2 or 3 different kind of things they can choose from. There's a couple of channels I watch on YouTube and I'm subscribed to that actually open horror boxes. I think one's called Horror in Me. That's a channel I watch, and he does like horror unboxings, and he does 2 or 3 different kinds of horror unboxings. So they've got boxes, but when do metalheads get a box? Exactly. Now we finally have one. And the cool thing is, not only do they include things that's available out there on the market, they also create merch. They have like, they do deals with different bands that have exclusive items that you're not going to get anywhere else. So if you want to feel a little bit more, like in the in the cool kids club, like you'd be like, I got a one-of-a-kind Arch Goat shirt, or oh, I've got a one-of-a-kind Lich King shirt, or I've got a one-of-a-kind doom metal band shirt that no one else is going to get, or those pins, like those like Mark Riddick pins, or the Sodom pin, which I lost one of the backings from and kind of very sad about that. But pins like that, or special patches, like the Metalhead Box logo patch was kind of cool. Like, I'm like, sweet, not only do I get to have a unique item, but I also get to promote a product that I like too, and create discussion when I'm out in public. Like, if someone is out there and they're like, oh, I like your battle vest. Wait, what's that? What's the Metalhead Box? I'd be like, oh, buddy, let me tell you. And it creates conversation. So yeah.
Oh, of course. Like, I just sewed my Metalhead box patch on my backpack that I take to school all the time. So I'm hoping that somebody will recognize it and actually ask me a question about it, because I basically love promoting them, because I want people to know who they are and actually start to subscribe to them. That's why.
For sure, man. It's good stuff. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out to come and ask me a few questions. It was a really fun interview. Definitely looking forward to doing this more often. um, but yeah, so if any of you guys watching don't know Stefan, he does have his own YouTube channel. Because I saw that in the chat, and someone's like, "Is this just a fan, or does he have a channel too?" No, Stefan does have his own channel. He does, Metalhead unboxings as well. He does collection updates. He does other like music-related unboxings. I think you also do reviews.
Yeah, I do reviews. I do interviews with other people and bands, and I do a lot of like unboxings as well. And also even talking about reviewing a CD or vinyl, like all of that.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys definitely go check out Stefan Goldberg's channel. Really nice dude, very kind of energetic and excited about what he talks about. Definitely go at least get a couple of videos, a watch, decide whether it's your thing. But he was kind enough to host this on my channel because we were having issues with my side of things. But like he was kind enough to host this and interview me, even though I'm kind of like a nobody. He made me feel special for an hour, so thank you for that. But yeah, go check him out. Really appreciate that. Any final thoughts before I let you go, bud?
Yes, I want to say for everyone who's watching this, thank you very much. I absolutely really appreciate it, and it's such a pleasure to talk to you, of course, Black Metal Rebellion, Jesse, because. Sure. For me, like you're something to me. You really are something to me. You're like when you were saying, "Oh, I'm a nobody." No, you're somebody to me, man. You mean something to me, and I care about that.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm no black metal werewolf or J-Hoff films, but I do my best.
Oh, of course, it's a pleasure, man. And I hope to keep staying in touch with you as well, like going back and forth and talking.
Yeah, sure, man. Keep in touch. Even if you have like a couple of other bigger questions that you think of later, maybe we'll do like another smaller interview or like a follow-up. I guess that's what they call it in the media, a follow-up interview. But yeah, man, feel free to stay in touch and let me know if and when you do that, and we'll schedule another one if that's something you want to do. So cheers, man. Much appreciated.
Oh, you're very welcome.
We'll talk to you later.
Oh, you're absolutely very welcome, man. Anytime. Like, like I said, like it's a pleasure. And I also stay tuned for your Sunday episodes as well.
All right, thank you, man. I'm not sure if we're doing a Sinister Sunday this Sunday, because now that we've kind of hit that 20 episode mark, we've kind of covered a lot of topics, and we're kind of hitting like a slow burn now, where we're kind of just trying to like do it every other weekend so that we can make sure that we have something worth talking about and give people enough time to fit Sinister Sunday into their schedule. And we do have a lot, well, not a lot, but we've got a few more members now. We've got at least 2 or 3 more members. So we're getting more people in there. We're getting more content creators with good personalities and good communication skills who, are going to be bringing the metal community forward and have something good to bring to the table. So maybe with a few members, might be able back to every week, but for now I think I'm just going to do every other Sunday, just to make sure there's enough content creators on the panel and just make sure we have decent content to talk about. So
of course, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. And yet again, thanks for taking your time to doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Cheers.
All right, see you around, dude.
All right, guys. Take care, man. All right, guys. That's all the time I have. I got daddy duty to go tend to as usual. So thanks for watching. Go check out Stefan, please. Thank you very much, man, and we'll see you later.